Good afternoon, I'm Sean Yao, and this is One News Now. Local government leaders and experts weighed in on the possible impact of a larger military presence in the Philippines. This is on the back of the government's announcement of additional locations for drills under the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement. Maricel Halili with the details.
Philippine and U.S. troops will soon have more facilities for security and defense in the country. Malacanang earlier named the 4 locations being considered as additional sites under the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, or EDCA. These are the Camilo Ocias Naval Base and Lalo Airport in Cagayan, Camp Melchor de la Cruz in Camu Isabela, and Balabac Island in Palawan. In total, the Philippines will have 9 EDCA sites once the facilities are constructed in the 4 additional locations. The administration has been very clear that these sites will not be used as bases by the U.S. military, but some local officials remain opposed to the agreement.
Mas malaking ihamak ang positive if we connect ourselves to our neighbors, especially in China. Amerikano, wala, kuripot pa. Layo pa sa atin.
For the Philippine Army, the expanded base access provides an opportunity to improve the country's military facilities.
Malaking tulong yon because of course, we have to admit, walang tayo sa pondo but they can provide the funds para sa improvement ng ating kampo na mutually pwedeng gamitin.
While there are some economic benefits to having additional EDCA sites, one expert believes that long-term security risks must be taken into consideration.
Of course, China will not take that very lightly. China is, in fact, in my opinion, viewing the approval of the Philippine government to allow the expansion of EDCA as an utter betrayal of their bilateral understanding made during the January 2023 visit of President Bongbong.
Banlawi adds that the location for the EDCA sites were strategically chosen to prepare the U.S. for any military contingency in the Indo-Pacific region.
If there will be military confrontations between the United States and China, surely the Philippines will be involved in a war, and we will be the target of military attack of China. We hope that China and the United States will not go to armed conflict.
Amid all the different views on EDCA, the Department of Foreign Affairs believes that the Philippines will greatly benefit from these additional sites. Strengthening the country's defense capabilities is among them. For News 5, Maricel Halili, We Are One News.
And China warns that an increased American military presence in the Philippines only serves to escalate tensions in the region. This as the Philippine government announced the 4 additional locations under the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, or EDCA, with the United States. Beijing denounced the move as Washington's attempt to strengthen its military deployment in the region.
事实非常清楚，美方出于一己私利，抱持零和思维，不断在本地区加强军事部署，其结果必然是加剧局势紧张，危害地区和平稳定。地区国家应该深入地想一想，到底什么才是合适的，什么才是互利的，从而做出真正有利于自身利益、有利于地区和平稳定。
The U.S. Pentagon, however, reiterated that it has no intentions of establishing permanent military bases in the Philippines.
We're not seeking permanent basing here, so you're going to see an increase of rotational forces in the region, but this is more about supporting combined training, being able to respond to natural disaster or humanitarian disasters in the region, but this is really about regional readiness.
And former U.S. President Donald Trump pleaded not guilty to 34 felony counts for falsifying business records. Trump is accused of paying hush money to adult film star Stormy Daniels to keep his sexual encounters from being brought up during the 2016 U.S. presidential campaign. This indictment makes Trump the first former U.S. president to face criminal charges. According to a Manhattan district attorney, the scheme of payoffs to suppress negative information violates the New York election law.
defendant repeatedly made false statements on New York business records. He also caused others to make false statements. One of the three people that they paid to keep quiet was a woman named Stormy Daniels. That payment was to hide damaging information from the voting public. The participant scheme was illegal.
We're pausing for a short break, but One News Now will be back with more stories after that. Stay with us. Time check, it's 5:40 in the afternoon. On your screens now are live pictures from the North Luzon Expressway or NLEX this Holy Wednesday. And as you can see, there's already traffic building up in that area. NLEX management is expecting a 10 to 15% increase in vehicle volume tonight until tomorrow, so better be ready. A reminder to everyone just about to hit the road for a Holy Week getaway, make sure that your RFIDs are working, so passing through toll gates will be a breeze. And pack a lot of patience as traffic could worsen in the next few hours. Some Filipinos go to extremes in observing Holy Week traditions. But, as mobile journalist Yeda Pascual tells us, there are far more simpler yet valuable ways to express faith and penance.
The Filipino faithful have different ways of commemorating the Passion of Christ this Holy Week. But if you still haven't settled on what to do to express your faith, the church says you can start with something simple like fixing of bad attitude. The Catholic Church explains, acts like fasting and abstinence are some Holy Week sacrifices done by the faithful to express gratefulness for Jesus' ultimate sacrifice on the cross. And in this modern age, the Church says, the faithful can start with a simple act of improving their behavior.
Magagawa nila yan sa pamagitan ng pag-give up ng something na alam nila na hindi naman maganda, no? Like for example, masyado silang nakatutok sa gadget, no? So baka pwede naman nila i-give up yun, no, once in a while, no?
The church adds that devotees do not need to participate in extreme acts of penitence like ritual crucifixion. What they can sacrifice instead are bad attitudes like being rude or easily angered.
Ito ay isang napakagandang pagsasakripisyo ng mga pagbibigay natin, pag-give up natin sa mga ugaling ito sa pagbago sa ating mga sarili, dahil yun naman talaga ang mensahe ng ating Panginoong Hesus sa atin.
This Holy Week, the Church says it's also important for Filipinos to show their love for others, which can be done through simple acts like helping those in need or spending time with family, friends, and loved ones.
Napakagandang opportunity ang Lent for us to reflect sa ating mga buhay, hindi yung buhay ng iba. No? Para tingnan natin kung ano yung kailangan nating baguhin para maisabuhay natin ang ninanais ng ating Panginoong Hesus para sa atin, na tayo ay magmahalan, na tayo ay mamuhay na mapayapa at magbibigay ng ginhawa sa ating kapwa.
Mobile journalist Yeda Pascual, we are One News.
And here's a quick look at today's other top stories. Real estate mogul Manny Villar is still the richest Filipino, according to Forbes magazine. Villar has a net worth of $8.6 billion or 467 billion pesos. Number 2 on the list is Enrique Razon with a net worth of $7.3 billion or 396 billion pesos. Rounding out the top 5 are Ramon Ang of San Miguel Corporation, Henry C. Jr., Andrew Tan, and siblings Hans and Herbert C. The Supreme Court says the results of the 2022 bar exams will be released on April 14. Results will be uploaded on the High Tribunal's website after a special on-bank session. More than 9,000 law graduates took the 4-day examination in November last year. War veterans are getting free rides over at the MRT-3 in celebration of Veterans Week and the Day of Valor or Araw ng Kagitingan. Veterans and one companion can avail of the free rides today, April 5, and next week from Monday, April 10 to Wednesday, April 12. They're required to present a valid identification card from the Philippine Veterans Affairs Office. One News Now will be back with the latest stories at 6:30 p.m. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News.